Hello everyone, this is Nathan Grayson with Kotaku, and today I'm bringing you a video of a game that I'm personally really excited about. I only just came across it a couple hours ago on Steam, but it's a first-person mystery adventure called Kona. And the interesting thing about it is that it's not entirely linear. Rather, you explore this large kind of snowscape in an effort to find out what's going on. The basic storyline is that you are a private investigator hired by a rich industrialist in the 1970s to find out about some vandalism perpetrated against his estate. But when you get there, he's not around, nor is anybody else. And so you've got to just sort of, go at your own pace and figure out what's going on. I'm going to start a new game to show off a little bit of it for you. I've played probably about an hour at this point, so obviously I know things, but I don't want to spoil everything for you, so let's just dive in.
Carl Faubert, private detective, had just traveled thousands of kilometers from Montreal to reach this remote middle-of-nowhere area, situated near the far northern Lake Atimamek. Granted, this was a great distance to cover for a sole client, but word had it that he was a particularly wealthy one.
So yeah, here we are in this kind of starting environment. Already you notice you can pick up pretty much anything, or at least a whole lot of things. So let's grab, some matches, cigarettes, a light, this file, my map,
I had to drive a bit further north in order to meet with wealthy
which, despite it being
William
the year 1970, has GPS technology. In Canada, things were much more advanced back then.
Hamilton was a prosperous owner who had acquired various businesses, as well as metal mines in this northern region.
And yeah, I can also grab a camera,
Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to
which is
get
pretty
down
neat.
to business.
But yes, this guy is apparently waiting for me in the general store. That's my current goal. First, though, I'm going to run around and grab some stuff because it would be prudent of me to do so. Not sure what the bottle's for. But anyway, yes, the camera. I'm always a huge fan of games with cameras because, I don't know, that's just really fun to me.
The Polaroid, Carl's long-standing
And so I can use it to snap photographs for reasons I'm not entirely sure of, but they're nice.
Even when removed from civilization.
There we go. My vacation photo. Yeah, it's nice.
Carl had a lot on his plate. He had to get back on the road.
Anyway, so I need to get back on the road, but, and just to give you an idea of, the puzzle solving that I've encountered so far is pretty basic, and so this is an example of that.
Why was it needed
The
here
road
in
is
the
blocked.
back of Beyond?
There's a chain.
That would, however, be a mystery for another day.
A mystery for another
Carl
day.
had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it.
I really like the narrator. It's just the right kind of melodramatic. I like to imagine the narrator is like Carl's internal voice. He narrates his own life in the third person, using a lot of really, flowery language. So yeah, we need something to cut that chain. I wonder if perhaps
The case won't close itself.
it is at the top of this conspicuous tower. I doubt it, but let's look. Oh hey, a chest. The game briefly becomes Skyrim. And so yeah, we also get a med kit, first aid kit, whatever you want to call it. I've not yet had a reason to use it, or use one in this game, but you never know. Also, already things are a little bit weird, like what's going on here. An interesting work of art. And yeah, you get cool little interface flourishes like that. The game likes to convey information in ways that don't take up traditional video game HUD elements, so you'll get words displaying on walls and things like that. But yes, let's go ahead and cut this.
The cutters made quick work of the chain. What better way to investigate vandals than to get into their shoes? Carl, the professional vandal, thought,
Carl, the
reveling in
professional
irony of the
vandal.
situation. Always striving to uphold uprightness, Carl, feeling the need to appease his guilty conscience, left a $10 note as damages.
That's cute. I didn't actually do that the first time that I went past this area. And so yeah, you can pick up things and read them for kind of environmental clues. Obviously I can't read this because it's in French, but a lot of the things that are in French are translated. Not this, but other stuff. So I will attempt to put this away. The game's controls are a little bit fiddly. No, I really just don't want to look at this anymore. Please let me move. There we go. So now I can move past this and into the heart of the game.
William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests. The local populace was divided when it came to the affluent man. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. Others an aging Englishman who do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him.
So yeah, the game does a, decent job of using the narrator to set up the overarching plot.
Carl was not made aware that winter would come early this year.
And then sudden
The North
snowstorm.
made clear who was the boss up there. Snow, which didn't care much about the date when it felt like dumping its first load of the year.
Ugh. That was a very classy poop joke.
Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people.
So as you can probably tell, the game is relatively slow-paced. But I will say so far, not in a way where it's lost my interest. Rather, it keeps stringing me along with these little clues that keep me really intrigued. Like, there goes a car. That'll come back to be relevant later. But yeah, so we have all of these little threads. There are different regions. The map is actually pretty large. It should be noted that this is a beta, but there's already quite a bit to explore. The developers say it's about 1 to 4 hours worth of stuff if you're playing the story, but just wandering around, there's even more than that.
But since the Industrial Revolution, it seemed that all they were metal mines. Very few souls claimed the territory surrounding Lake Etapeque. It could hardly be called a village, an enclave, or a settlement, perhaps. Anything that illustrates minimum awareness, bordering the backwoods of the Cree Kingdom. The truck was running on fumes.
So here's the general store, which I'm going to crash into.
Since 1941, the general store provided the populace with various goods that couldn't be plucked from nature itself. William Hamilton had recently taken over the place. In fact, the whole region was now his.
So yeah, more reasons that people might not love this Hamilton character. While we're out here, I'm just going to take a quick moment to demonstrate. The game has a few kind of survival-ish mechanics built into it. If you hop into the menu, you'll notice that I have health, temperature, stress, and weight. So I can only carry a certain number of items. If I do too many things that stress my character out, he starts to get a little bit loopy, and I've got to watch the temperature or else I will freeze to death and die, which is probably not the mark of a great investigator. So, let's go inside, where it is likely warm. So here we are, but I do not see Hamilton anywhere, which is not a great sign, because we were supposed to meet here. Would that a mystery game made it so simple.
An explosion suddenly occurred outside.
That's normal. I guess we should probably see what that was about. Wolves! Damn you! Always messing with the power! Ugh, hooligans. This place used to be so wholesome and family friendly. The wolves appear to have left some sort of note in the garbage. In French, the wolves' customary language.
Hate was in the air. Seems like some villagers barely tolerated each other.
The wolves also don't like Hamilton. But okay, seriously, it's clearly a note from one of the people who's in the village, probably the person who runs the general store, not a fan of this Hamilton guy. And then, oh hey, there's some sort of mystical ice formation. Again, you know, stuff happens. This is the first place where the game explicitly says for me to use my camera. So I'm gonna do that. Get a quick shot of this. Sure.
Carl was used to strange phenomena, but a chunk of ice like this, as if an iceberg came out of the ground, that was a first.
It was a first. So, our current dilemma in the grand tradition of first-person puzzling is that we've got to solve a relatively simple dilemma for our first real puzzle. Now, power generator's out, and then we also have a thing that'll let us use the generator over here when we have it back on. So you can only use one part of it at any given moment. You can either have the store active or the garage. And then so I can switch from the main power to the generator. But to fix the generator,
Carl was no electrician.
we need a couple
He could
things.
identify a wiring problem when he saw
We
one.
need some tape and something to, I don't know, do the other thing with. I'm also not an electrician. So, let's go ahead and make this a little easier by pulling up my flashlight. And so, one of the things I really like about this game so far is just like the amount of trouble they went through to create a convincing world. So there's a lot of detail in this general store, including the hilarious joke that is Apple Jacques. That is comedy gold. There's also, you know, everyone's favorite, Rice Crunches from Balog. Just, yeah, they went out of their way here. But yeah, this whole general store has a bunch of little things on the shelves, to the point where when I was trying to solve this puzzle the first time, I was like going over every little area because I couldn't find the things I needed to fix the generator. And I was wandering through this part of the store, and I noticed that it was all food cans, and I was like, this is a waste of my time. I'd never find tape in this section of a general store. And I really like when a game can bring me into its world that much that I find myself having those sorts of thoughts, where it's like, of course I'm not going to find it here. This is not how anyone would organize a store. But yeah, and so you get more of that interface where the game projects words onto the screen instead of, you know, or onto the objects instead of having a menu prompt where you, like, you know, it says a thing and you press OK and the menu prompt disappears and all of that. So cool little things like that to draw you into the world and convince you that it is a real place as opposed to a video game world. So over here also we have the thing that would control the gas pump if there was power. Let's go ahead and take a look at another note.
Gilles Lachance, Carl recollected, was the general store's manager. Should Hamilton not be available, he was the man to talk to. Or what if Hamilton had moved up his appointment with his physician?
So theoretically this guy was supposed to be here to meet with me if Hamilton wasn't around, but he's also not here, and as we saw from the note in the trash can out back, this guy probably doesn't like Hamilton very much. So either he left of his own accord, or something even more strange is going on here.
The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone.
No phone. If I had a code, I could get in here, but I don't, so I don't really know what to do. So yeah, anyway, let's get back to fixing the generator. Key to the garage.
Finding a key is easy. Finding the right keyhole,
And
not so much.
then here's some tape. And some matches. All of which is super handy. No, I want that. Drawers, stop it. Stop ruining my life.
You don't leave ammunition out in the open like this. Was Gilles Lachance that careless?
Or was something more sinister at play? Okay, so... is that everything I need? No, not quite. Still need to run out to the garage, which I now have the key for. Oh yeah, there are a lot of little emplacements like this around the map. In the event that your character is freezing to death, this will stave it off. Assuming, of course, that I have wood and matches. I'm always a big fan of games, too, where I can open every trash can and dig through it. I think that that is the true mark of a great game. That and functional bathrooms. So here is the very dark garage. Gonna once again pull out my flashlight. And rifle through the tool shed, where in all likelihood, I will find the thing that I need to fix a broken power generator, which I just did. So again, drawers are full of stuff that you would think you'd find in these drawers. And also, worth noting is the fact that there's a crowbar here. Maybe I'll want that in a little bit. Who knows? It's a mystery. Ooh. So let's run back around to the generator. Get this started up. Alright. Go back inside. And it's a miracle, we have power. I'm like God when on the 7th day he fixed his power generator. Or was it the first day? Regardless, let there be light. I don't know. That joke didn't work. I'm sorry. But yeah, so this is all good. Now it's warm in here. I can see my own shadow. Makes me look like I have giant shoulders and pecs and tiny little hands. But I want that crowbar. So, really fast, we're going to turn off power in the main area. So we can turn it on. Whoopsie. On, I say, in the garage.
Note, explain that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity.
I know.
at the same time.
Let's go out here. Power's on now. Which means that crowbar, currently trapped under a car, can now be mine.
At long last, the crowbar was within Carl's grasp.
He embraced
Surely
it
would come in
like a
handy at some
long-lost
point.
lover. Okay, so all of that stuff is good and useful. And I can go ahead and get some gas from my car. And then we can continue sleuthing in the grand tradition of this man named Carl. Let's see, turn that off, turn that on. Just a really delightful and not at all unsettling soundtrack. Also, I'm going to like reveal to you the scariest element of this game now. Here we go. This is going to shock and panic you. My car moved! And I didn't move it. The plot thickens. Okay, so fill up the gas. Now let's get back on the road. Okay, so the way back onto the main path that I was following is this direction. Let's do that. Okay, so now no more obstacles in my way. We will surely meet up with Hamilton and everything will be great in mere moments. I am 100% certain that's what's going to happen. No chance of any shenanigans or anything of that nature. Why would that ever be the case? And wait, never mind. Oh god, ah! What is going on here? Get out of your car. Why are you... Oh. I blocked myself with a tree. Again, realism. So somebody had themselves a little accident.
The track was fresh. That meant the car sunk down just a little while ago. Now where the hell could the passengers possibly
The car was driven by its brand creator, Galactus, Devourer of Worlds. There's some more film from my camera. Interesting. Manual owner seems to be Wilfred Roy. Good to know. Belonged to a ranger.
Someone must have dropped this in a hurry, but whoever did was heading into the woods. Carl's tracking instincts were quickly kicking in.
Like a sickness. Hey, another ice thing. Seems only right that I take another picture. Go ahead and keep that. I do enjoy this Polaroid thing though, because like, despite being frigid and vaguely apocalyptic, I should mention that in order to really like have it all fit the scene, I'm playing this game in a completely dark room right now. And it really helps. It, I don't know, it adds to the vibe of it. Even though the game isn't scary, it still just like feels like I think the game feels or something. But yes, the surroundings are still really nice looking. I love the way that the trees move, for instance. Like it's mesmerizing and it's so very natural. But yeah, so it's nice to just like take some, you know, nature photography. Yeah, it's nice. What's going on with all this light over here? I never actually investigated it earlier.
The road turned into nothingness. Carl hated dead ends. Made him feel trapped. It seemed like the lake managed to completely swallow the road.
And yeah, so this is this appears to be invisible walled. The thing about this game is it is non-linear in certain ways, but it railroads you quite a bit. And even when it's in non-linear mode, you'll notice that there are these wolf prints. So there's always that to follow if you're like lost or whatever. So now is the part where, well, let's hey, big wall. And then what's going on?
Carl felt engulfed by a wave of cold, and for a second
And so suddenly the game takes a turn for the fully supernatural.
Carl had no issue.
Yeah, this just comes out of nowhere.
Like figures, but he couldn't figure out what they wanted from him.
So frustrated the narrator is. But yeah, so we've got these people. And I'm sort of expecting, based on like, based on how much the game's been talking about the Kree, that maybe there's like some sort of Kree spiritual aspect to it, which might be like super ham-fisted and vaguely offensive. We'll see. But yeah, so we've got these spirit people who, as the narrator implied, want something from me. What do they want? I don't know. Smile and say cheese. Oh look, she even posed. Why are you taking this picture of me? She seems to ask. You have better things to be doing. I did have a thought though, while I was roaming about. What if one of the things they want from me is like one of the pictures I've taken? Let's see. I don't even know where the game stores my pictures, to be honest. Can't equip any of them.
Carl, ever diligent in his work, always carried his log on.
A little hard to read in the dream world.
Alike during the course of his investigations.
Let's see. Polaroid film, garage key, pliers, pincher, matches, hardware, empty bottle, ammo box. But the pictures themselves are not here. They're probably in my journal. I just can't see anything. Yeah, here they are. It's like, what if I showed an ice thing? I guess I can. Well. So yeah, I don't really know what to do involving these people. So, what I ended up doing last time I played was moving away from the ice block,
The more his senses came back to him.
returning to this mortal plane, and just exploring a little bit more, because there are more wolf tracks and more kind of independent intrigues to be observed. So let's run through the snow here. So yeah, here's another one of those little areas where I can, if need be, light a fire and survive. I think my temperature's still alright. Yeah, 69. So, you know, both warm and just a little bit sexy. I'm going to follow these tracks. Although wait, I think this is actually the point at which they lead me back to the area from which I came. What I want to do is get to an area that I discovered last time I was running around. Take a look at the map really quick. So yeah, I sort of ended up kind of just forging further into this area. So I figured, you know, why not? At this point, things are a little bit directionless. But who knows what I'll find if I head in this direction. So wandering around again, just notice like everything looks really nice. But it's also got that like kind of, it's, you know, really frigid and snowy, and so it's kind of claustrophobic in that sense, despite how open everything is in terms of my ability to actually navigate. Some more of that interesting artwork. I've navigated to a slightly different area than I ended up in the last time I was playing. Apologies for that. I'll eventually get back on track.
not feel his toes anymore.
Yeah, it's probably not a fantastic sound, is it? Okay, let's see. I believe the actual location I was looking for is coming up. I think. What's my temperature at? 45. Ooh. Yeah, so see, my vision's getting a little bit foggy now. Just so I'm not in the best state.
Detective
Ooh.
There was an animal.
Hello there,
But
wolves.
the wolves he encountered clearly were not looking for some friends.
So yeah, I don't think I want to, you know, deal with these wolves unarmed. Hey guys, what's up? Ah, what now? Hooligans! But this area is just a little, you know, place where I can stay warm. Not a whole lot else to it. Here we go. Here's what I was looking for. So another area of mystery and intrigue in this desolate area. And again, what I like is that while the game railroads you a little bit, it gives you these things to follow, like the wolf tracks. It's never super heavy-handed about it. Let's get inside so that I don't die of the cold. I'm just gonna run around back and grab something that will come in handy in a moment. Okay. Decided
Without
that.
a single window to brighten things up, the inside of the cabin was almost pitch black. Beware of close encounters of meat and furniture.
Oops, I need some wood. Uh-oh, I forgot to collect that. Hopefully there's some outside. Otherwise I may have made a dire mistake. Oh yeah, there's plenty. I hope I can collect it. Worked in another area. Video game, don't be super selective about this. Oh no! This is terrible. Well, usually when I go inside of places, my temperature at least stops falling. So I'll do that. We can look around this place really quick. 25% temperature. That's real bad.
Solitaire. A card game only hermits can truly enjoy. Carl felt depressed at the thought of playing it.
But yeah, so I like this little area because there are sort of clues about what went on with this person too. But once again, kind of like that first place, it's all rooted in inferences that you make based on the environment. So like, suitcase with clean clothes, a bag that they seem to be in the process of packing, a wet toothbrush, meaning they were around recently, otherwise it wouldn't be wet. Or their cabin just very damp. Somehow I doubt it though. The radio's still on. More clothes. Whoever this person, or presumably people, were, they had this place stocked with food, but they were planning to leave in a more well-prepared way, but they clearly left in a hurry. But beyond that, I don't really know what their deal is yet. Okay, still good on temperature. It's not like I'm gonna keel over at any given moment. But yeah, so it's tough to say what exactly is going on here, other than there's clearly something weird happening. but that's all. So, with that, I think I'm going to stop kind of spoiling elements of this game for you. But that kind of gives you an idea of how it works. There's this place, it's apparently completely desolate, despite the fact that people definitely live here. You've been sent to investigate, but you don't really know what exactly you're investigating at this point. The person who hired you is missing. Everyone's missing. And so you've got to kind of roam around and find these places and put together in your head what's going on, while also, not keeling over because you've got serious frostbite. It's this really, I don't know, just uniquely engaging kind of series of things. I'm super into it. And I also really like the atmosphere. It's obviously very well put together in that respect. I'm excited to find out what happens next, so I'm going to keep playing and hopefully do just that. Again, it should be noted that this is still in beta. It's the first of a number of episodes in this series, so there's not a whole, you can't solve the full mystery yet, but, I'm really excited to see how it comes together. I think it's a unique blend of environmental storytelling and a narrator, and all this other stuff. So yeah, that's Kona, and I hope you give it a look. Anyway, obviously subscribe, all of that other stuff. Don't catch frostbite. If you are trapped in a snow cabin, light fires, send me a message, maybe I'll come and help you. I don't know, this is all part of the formalities of YouTube video making. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.